welcome to qualifying for round 5 of season 2 of the F.2.M.J.A.C here at Montreal. It is a wet circuit out here in Canada. As we see, the first driver going out is one of the Prix racing drivers, that is Arthur in the number 15. The British driver in the Italian team, F.2.M.J.A.C, has announced that this will be his final race in the F.2.M.J.A.C series for high-tech TGR. Then he will race again later on in the F1MC before leaving the International Monoposto Racing Federation entirely. In his place in the Formula 2 seat at high-tech from next round onwards will be Devrad, the Indian driver, and over in F1 I will reveal who is that later, but it is a Hong Kong driver, and funny enough he has the same number as Sir Carrera. Anyways, Victor Levi is coming out in the AIX. Number 24, he's actually had a rough season so far, along with his teammate Verstier, who as well had a really rough season so far. Here comes Sir Carrera for his possibly final ever qualifying run in this series. As we see Zygmunt coming out of the pits in the 7, his teammate Zigo is already out on the circuit in the 8, as we see him and Tommy Yu in the number 9. The Santos is still in the pits along with Mario. Enoch Yu's out of the pits. Here comes his cousin Arnold Yu in the 27 Trident. Trident this season have improved a lot, but not from Arnold Yu's side of the garage. Is actually shockingly from both Verstappen and Henry Borg's side of the garage, as Arthur starts his flying lap. Same with Gabriel. Verstappen's in the pits currently, and Matteo as well in the 3 coming out of the pits. Gabriel's a turn 1. Having to avoid a wire spin it goes Cole Palmer, who is out of qualifying. As there are now yellow flags at turn 1, having to clear that number 14 of Palmer, who I think hit the barriers and then lost control and spun it. The track is clear now as we go back to qualifying action with about 4 minutes to go in the session. Here comes Olivier Labar as he crosses the line to start his flying lap in the 22 road, as here comes Victor Levi in the 24 as he starts his qualifying lap of the session in the AIX, along with Zygmunt, who is actually currently on his out lap at the moment. Olivier Labar sets the fastest sector 1 of 17.037 as we're currently on board with the 22 Rodin, the French driver, currently not having the best of seasons, only scored 4 points so far. He will look to up his game today as Hart sets the fastest sector 2 of 16.149 as Chaos Andale is off and into the wall. Moxie Noah seems out of the session. I think is a VAR civil war there, as both drivers I think collided. Gabby was on his flyer, I'm pretty sure. He has to let go of someone. That was Matthew Hart as he crosses the line and sets the time of 55.204, while setting the fastest sector 3 as well of 21.550. Zygmunt is currently on his flying lap as well. There's another yellow flag at sector 3. I'm not sure who that is. At least it didn't cause someone to retire from qualifying. Arthur goes second fastest and Yanis Santos goes third fastest, but he's 35 seconds off the pace, so I don't think that was Santos' proper lap. And yes, from now on I will be referring him as Yanis Santos, as he requested a name change for his registration in the IMRF. As Tommy Yu is coming around the final corner in the Campos, passing now, crossing the line as he goes P1 with a 55.045, but TY crossing the line as he goes top with a 54.972 as Verstier is now coming around the final corner. There's another yellow flag in sector 3 as Zygmunt went second fastest, only 0.003 behind Tommy Yu's quickest lap time, which is a 54.972 as Kevin's at the main straight as he's been hit by Adrado. Both of them lost it. Kevin out of the session, Adrado continues on. Both of them actually set a lap time before they had that incident. Adrado is P6 while Kevin is 7th. As Matteo crossing the line next as he goes P3. That was a really good lap time there from the Belgian driver. Here comes Verstappen, the Brazilian driver, to the line as he goes to provisional pole position. There's a yellow flag at sector 1 and it is for a provisional pole sitter Verstappen, who is off, along with F.2.M.J.A.C in the high-tech TGR. He's broken half of his front wing, but he does continue on. I think Verstappen continues on as well, as he only broken his front wing, as Gabriel is currently having to slow down due to that yellow flag in sector 1 involving the 26 and the 20, as we now go back to green flag running with 1 minute and 25 seconds to go. Gabriel will have to go again for another lap if he wants to set a lap here. Crystal is coming down the back straight along with I think one of the AIXs, that is Victor Levi, who's coming around the final corner, crossing the line as he starts his flying lap of the session, having to pass one of the APX cars as he gets through turn 1 safely. That's where Palmer actually lost the back end of his car and delayed to the line as he starts his flying lap. Here comes Enoch Yu in the 2 as he starts his flying lap of the session. He has to avoid someone. He nearly dropped it, but he kept it on the road. I think that was a Campos there who nearly compromised the Hong Kong driver's lap. Andalay currently on his flyer, passing the chicane very well as Victor Levi is coming around the circle part of the track before the back straight. Versteer is already at the back straight as he's currently on his out lap. He lets his teammate by. Levi, he's about to cross the line very soon. Enoch Yu says the fastest sector 2 at 15.316. So there's another yellow flag for some reason. We go back to green flag running. Here comes Andalay rounding the final corner. One of the primers is off. That's Arthur as Andalay goes P6. Levi also goes P10. Here comes Crystal Labal to the line as she goes 7th fastest. I think that is exactly what Rodin Motorsport needed. Being in the top 6 as Enoch Yu goes to provisional pole with a 54.102. As the clock hits 0, there are still drivers out there that could challenge for pole position against the Hong Kong driver. First off is High-Tech TGR's Davi Sucurera. The Brazilian driver comes around the final corner. Davi to the line. He only goes 13th. Enoch Yu still holds on to his pole for now. Versteer comes around the hairpin before the final corner. Zigo goes 2nd fastest. Here comes Saragi. He goes P2. But no one is toppling over Enoch Yu yet. But this man could. The number 25 AIX of Versteer, the Brazilian driver, the only driver left who is on a lap, coming to the line. Could he topple Enoch Yu's lap? No, he couldn't as he goes 5th fastest. So at the moment, the tables look like this. Is Enoch Yu on top with a 54.102. Then it's Saragi, Toralo, Zigo, Gap, Stappen, Versteer, Tommy Yu, Zygmunt Mather with M.J.A.C and Chaos Andalay running at the top 10. Then it's Crystal Labal, Matthew Hart, Arthur, Carlos Adrado, Yu Cable, Victor Levi, Davi Sucurera, Kevin Yanis Santos, Olivier Labal, Moxie and last name Cole Palmer, Gabriel and Arnold Yu. Now we look at the official pecking order. Is Enoch Yu on top with a 54.102. Then it's Saragi, Torado, Zigo, Gap, Stappen, Versteer, Tommy Yu, Zygmunt Mather, M.J.A.C and Chaos Andalay running at the top 10. Then it's Crystal Labal, Matthew Hart, Arthur, Carlos Adrado, Yu Cable, Victor Levi. Then comes the High-Tech TGR duo of Sucurera and Kevin Dennis, Yanis Santos, Gabriel, Cole Palmer, Moxie last name Olivier Labal and Arnold Yu. We will see you soon for the main race as the IMRF returns.